So, what thrusters would you recommend for my first small vessel?
For your first small vessel, I would say you want either the S thrusters or the thrusters or the thrusters M.
Okay, I chose thrusters M.
Okay. Now it's going to actually be very similar to you placing the doing the HV, except for this time you're going to do an additional rotation to place some thrusters that point down and some thrusters that point up. Ah, I see your.
Okay, so I begin with the small vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, Dan, it would probably be a good idea to accept my application to your faction.
Oh yes. It has been accepted. Okay. Now, unlike the hover vessel where you have to place the hover engines out, kind of the stuff, the small vessel that's not as important. You will still have the same thing where the if they're further out, it'll help you with your turning. So, so and you
So, uh, I don't know what to do.
okay? Well, maybe do you want to start with the symmetry tool first? You remember press the N,
I
check
know.
check mark that, and the YZ. Click on your thing, so you got your nice little green barrier. Okay. And then, since you're probably going to want the thrusters placed a little, so they're not right there in the center where they won't help your thing turn very well, you'll probably want to go ahead and extend some composite blocks out from your thing where you want to place your
Like
thrusters.
that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was too far or anything, but okay.
Okay. Probably want to make it a little bit wider.
Like that?
Um, that's for this for just your first time, maybe a little narrower.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Now you need at least two of your M thrusters pointed down. Those look like thruster S, or are they?
Their thruster M.
They must be pointed down into the ground or something, I guess.
It is.
Okay, so you got two pointed down. Now you want a couple pointed to each side, and a couple pointed front, a couple pointed back, and then a couple pointed up.
So like that?
Yep.
Where should I put the next thrusters?
Maybe where you made this a little bit wider here, maybe put the two to the side over there.
Like that?
Sure. Now maybe here in front of those you put the two pointing forward.
Like that?
Mm-hmm. And now you want, I would say, at least one pointing up.
Where do I put that?
Well, if you're putting just only one pointing up, you probably want to put it along the center line. But if you're putting two pointing up, you can put it probably maybe close to these ones you have pointing forward and pointing to the side.
So, where?
Let's see. Maybe somewhere about there. Behind you.
About where?
About there.
Oh, right here?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Now you need your cockpit, generator, and a fuel tank.
Okay. I have cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of O2 tank would you recommend?
What kind of O2 tank?
I think there's
It's
only
good
Yeah.
one.
for the small vessels. There's only one for the stuff. The other ones are going to be big ones for bases and capital vessels.
Okay. And then the fuel tank,
The fuel
right?
tank for a small vessel, I'm probably going to recommend that you go with. Oh, helps if I spell it right. Let's see. It's just called fuel tank. Don't go with the small one. Stuff. It's
Okay.
just called fuel tank. No parentheses on around anything.
Okay, so now I have the things you wanted me to get. So,
Mm-hmm. So
which
you
one should I place first?
probably your cockpit.
How does that look?
Okay.
Or should I bring it farther forward?
You can build stuff in front of it.
Okay,
And then
what next?
you want your generator. If it's a small generator, you probably want at least two of them.
Oh, that's what I forgot, the generator.
Mm-hmm.
So just the normal generator?
Yep.
Okay. So now where do I put it?
Probably behind your cockpit.
There?
That'll be good.
Does that work?
Yep. Then you need a fuel tank.
Maybe there?
Yep. And O2. Okay. And you probably have enough to fill it up with its fuel tanks and try flying.
Whee! Okay, I corrected myself. I am struggling.
Okay, if you wanted to go level, press O, and that will level your vessel out.
Thank you. Oh, that came down fast.
Now you probably want to grab some landing gear and put some landing gear on the bottom side, but to do that you probably want to have it hovering in the air for a little bit, so you can be underneath it.
Okay. So turn the power on. Go up a
Okay.
little,
Yep.
and then hop out.
Yep. Then grab some landing gear,
Let me grab it.
and you'll actually have, if you right click, you'll have a whole bunch of different choices you can pick.
So,
Now, just like the cockpit, you have many choices.
which one do you recommend? The T1 or the T2? Oh, that stands for tier, doesn't it?
I would probably just select them both. There's slightly different choices in the two. The T2 gives you a few retractable landing gears, so they'll retract and look like normal blocks. And then when you come close to the ground, they'll extend out. There is a couple retractable in the standard one, but so.
I'm putting mine in a sort of a backwards triangle compared to what I did on the Dove.
Okay. Keep in mind, one of the things
It won't let me do what I was hoping.
one of the things
Then again, I just realized.
you want to be careful about the fact that these are two different levels here. So those ones there, there are options that you have ones that are, if you look at the landing gear before you place them, as you're selecting your choices, it says the size WHD, so that's your width, height, depth. So if you're putting landing gear at two different levels on your vessel, you probably want one set to be the 3 blocks high and the other set to be the 2 blocks
I
high.
fixed my problem.
Okay.
I just removed some of the carbon blocks.
Okay. Okay.
So now it has landing gear.
Okay. Now you fill it in as you want. I don't know if you want to add any weapons or just do another decorative work with just that can fly and looks nice, or it looks like another poo toy.
Please don't make fun of my last creation. I already understand that it looks like a pool toy.
You're the one who said it looked like a pool toy.
Yeah, well, you don't need to rub it in.
How am I going to rub it in? I can't pick it up and rub it on you.
Dad,
Yes,
you just caused me to facepalm myself.
that's my job.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
No? Let's see. Temporarily forgot that these hover vessels keep going back down. They got no power. So if I want to do work on the underside, okay. Okay. Let's see what I'm going to do with that. Oh, no, no, no. That's... wonder if I want to change a few of these textures up. Sure hear a lot of squawking.
I know that's not coming from my birds.
I mean, I need to kill you in PvP. Please. Irene.
on. There's a. Okay, change the shade of blue on that.
Jenny, wanna go take your shower
I already took a shower.
today?
Yeah.
Well, Mom wants us to take showers tonight. I'm done. I took a shower early. Mom said that she did. Mom did say that she did. Well, Dylan, do you want to take a shower? Dylan doesn't have business tomorrow. Yeah, but you can still take a shower. Irene, I need to kill you.
Why do you need to kill Irene?
And Jen.
Okay. I'm not even playing your game.
No, I prefer my house.
Then you use cold water.
Dylan, you go first. I'll go last. Irene, I desperately need to kill you. What? I desperately need to kill you. Tell me if I joined you. Because I have to leave. It wasn't like it. You're in PvP, right? I just went into RP.
Oh, okay.
Can't you see that I'm not a... I've only been master so I could get more XP. Good or wrong? Do you have SketchUp? Do you have SketchUp, Irene? Yeah, I have SketchUp. SketchUp. I just spawned. Where? That's SketchUp. Meet me at the tree? Irene. What level are you? I'm level 16 at SketchUp. I'm a level 4. You're what? Level what? 4. My mommy is a cloud. I'm a level 4. I heard you. My gosh! But keep getting killed and people don't even care. What? I'm at the berry. Yeah. You expect me to find a berry? There's berries over here. I know. I picked most of them. Come over here.
You sounded like Chewbacca.
Me?
No, I was talking to Irene,
Battle?
but I don't think she heard me. She did this weird moan thing that made her sound like Chewbacca.
Get in position, everybody. Ready? Yes. Go, Irene. Please go to that seat. My XP is at 29. You gotta do better. Hey, don't. 26.
Apparently, the twins are trying to murder each other.
That's what it sounded like, and I was like, hmm. Okay.
Now, what I am.
What's that symbol? I wonder.
Let's just have our battle in town. Did I hurt
Oh,
you?
it's not that one. It's that one. Oh, it's not going to fit on there.
Can't do it in town, why not? Now we're at
Turn off symmetry for a moment. There we go.
I still don't have a skull. I got 6 bones now. I found it easy to kill. Get on your tablet, get on a different alright, I'm done. That over. I don't want to. Harry, are you in a safe zone? I'm not. Don't even. See, I'm clicking.
Nah, if I was making a racing vehicle, maybe that might be appropriate. But this is a workhorse. I know. Maybe I should. Go with this texture somewhere.
Oh, great. Someone's being married. I'm gonna
And,
put it
do
there.
the entire block. Boom.
No. Come here, remote. Powerful one.
There.
This one is level 3 size.
Oops. That's a thruster.
I have some that are level 60. This one's level 60. You know my Alexity is like level 7.
Oh, I see. These are.
This is level 11. This is level 11. This is level 4.
Other shade of red.
This is level 32. This is level 8. This is level 29. Pillar of Love. Here's love. This is level 4. This is level 12. This is level 20. This is level 14. This is level 5. This is level 8. This is level 11.
Hard to texture some of this when so much of it is actually
This is level 22.
devices.
This is level 67. This is level 4. This is level 7. This
Let's
is
see.
level 8. This is level 29. This is level 38. This is level 4. This is level 6. This is level 30. 39, 35, 21, 27, and okay. Guess what? I'm a cute little thing, but I'm very strong.
Oh, that's all thruster there too. That's.
Have you gotten Clover yet? No, I haven't. It's gonna take you a lot of healing if you're going to do it. I'm looking right now on my Clover.
Okay, what can I put on there that can actually.
Need a barrel that has speed.
actually stayed hovering for once. I don't like that. Suppose that'll do. Oh, that's right. It's those. Oh, you haven't given it a name yet? How about a spotlight or two?
I'll add that soon.
Okay. I don't know if you've come and peeked at me over doing work over here, but I've been texturing, and then like, no, I don't like it, so I'll do it over again and texture some more. No, I don't like it, I'll do it again. Like, changing my mind again and again and again.
The which one are you working on?
The Kiwi.
I can see that you keep changing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I have no idea.
My dad. No, it's not my mom.
My hover vessel, I'm getting a reminder here why I don't like playing Space Engineers.
Is that the game you were playing earlier?
Nope. Nope. I haven't played Space Engineers in a while. And the last time I played it for a little bit, confirmed that it still had the same issue, and then stopped playing again.
Ah.
So what would be this certain issue?
Well, the thing is, I understand collision damage, but Space Engineers, I think, takes it to an extreme. We're playing a game, and some of the stuff they take it to. Well, a game engine can only handle so much. Well, one of the points that really frustrated me at one point is I built this vehicle with wheels. I would hit anything, and it was like the front end would explode, and parts would go flying, and I'd lose my whole front end just because I hit something with the wheel. I was like, well, that's irritating. Losing the wheel might have made sense, but to have all this, just massive destruction, stuff, it's just kind of really frustrating. Well, then,
Yeah, I guess that's understandable.
yeah. Well, the thing is, then one other stuff, I put together a wheeled vehicle, pulled right up, it was like just perhaps a meter from the rock or whatever, just really close to a rock. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to see if this thing can actually go over the rock. I'm just curious. I hit the forward, and boom, the front end of my thing goes blowing up, and I'm like I was barely in front of the rock. I was just trying to edge up to it, see if it would climb, actually could climb the rock, but no, I hit it with the wheel. Such a short distance. All the front end of my thing is all blown up and all over the place. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. There's collision damage, and then there's ridiculous. It's like,
That does sound ridiculous. Yeah, I would be irritated too.
mm-hmm.
Because that would get annoying fast.
Yeah. I know there are a lot of people that really like Space Engineers, and because it has, I will admit, the docking system on it is much better than Empyrion stuff. So I really do think they have a superior docking system. But that doesn't mean just for a docking system and a few other things they get better than Empyrion, doesn't mean I'm switching. So it was just one of those things that now the game I was playing earlier, it's a game in early alpha stages. It'd be kind of like joining Empyrion even before I did. I enjoyed Empyrion in Alpha 6. A lot of the stuff was kind of here. There's a lot of things they added since then. CPU didn't exist. There was a lot of things that got added, it got tuned, got adjusted. But the game I was playing, the idea is it's going to eventually have a survival mode, but right now it doesn't. All it's got is the shipbuilding. So it's kind of like the shipbuilding of space engineers. But it's actually a bit more forgiving, at least at the moment, it's more forgiving on collision damage. And one of the blogs I was watching, or vlogs, I guess you call it, a video blog, the developer was talking about, forgiveness in, basically acknowledging that he's making a game, and for the players, it has to be, some degree of forgiveness in collisions. The key is that the game to be enjoyable to play, and if I guess he didn't come out and say Space Engineers or list any others, but it's like, yeah, there are games that I played that they've got some really cool mechanics, really good stuff, but when it comes to collision, I just get discouraged and I don't play the game because it's a little on the extreme. No. It's I guess I'm probably not going to do that. I'm going to do all block. Oh, this one's a different block. It's not that one, it's that. Rotate. There we go. I'm going to take out the cockpit because I'm pretty sure I want to make. Okay, that means I need to go cockpits again to grab a cockpit. Stick back in there. This one's working better. Maybe I want to pick another color for the do a blue.
Okay, so I figured out that 0 and
cockpit. That. Okay, now to do the signal work on this thing and device grouping and. Okay. And although I do this on the my hover on my small vessels and my capital vessels, it really suits its purpose here on the hover vessels where we have something that is not necessarily shut off. There are 10 hover engines on my vessel. A lot of hover engines for such a small vessel. But I built this with what they call weights and volume compliant. Basically, for example, the survival server that I have actually has weights and volume turned on. So as you fill up your cargo hold on a, so if you have cargo containers and that stuff on your vessel, as you fill them up, that weight gets added to your vessel. So this thing, yeah, it's got a lot of hover engines, it's got a lot of thrusters for its little size. It doesn't, just to move itself, it doesn't really need all this. But when the cargo hold starts getting filled up, it will start getting heavier, and it is a mining vessel, so its cargo hold is going to get filled. So it's built to become a very heavy little vessel. Okay. Let's see if I want. Yep. Attack defense drill module. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm still debating on what to name my first small vessel, but I have an idea. Okay. This is the parakeet.
The parakeet. Okay.
Yep, the parakeet.
The colors make me think of your parakeet Kiwi, but that you probably.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But because you had already used the name Kiwi, I decided to do parakeet.
Yes, but the colors of this doesn't look anything like your parakeet. But as I said, I created the original long before you got your parakeet, so I'm coloring it after the original hover vessel that I had made, not after your bird.
Yeah, I colored mine because of Kiwi. Yeah, once I was done, I realized I haven't enough CPU to add 2 guns. So that's what I did.
Okay. Did you add a ammo controller?
I was going to ask you about that.
You need somewhere to put the ammo, so you need to put an ammo controller on there. You can probably just grab, because it is a nice square. Probably pick some spot that you have a square block and stick it in there. Granted, you don't get any choice on the controller itself. You can't texture it. You can color it, but you can't texture it. So pick a spot that the texture of the ammo controller won't bother you. Let's see. Mm-hmm. And if you want to have it hold a little more ammo, add some extensions to the blocks right next to it. The extensions have to be touching the controller, or touching an extension touching the controller. And the extensions you do have a limited choice of to texture it. Now the ammo controller, you can rotate that, and that will rotate what texture you get. So I wouldn't say each side has a different texture, but I want to say there's about 3 different textures on the ammo controller. So as you rotate it, you have a choice of about 3, which you'll be looking at.
Well, I have the ammo controllers.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the sides I looking at.
What, the underside?
The ammo controller, as I said, you could when you're placing it, you can rotate it. 3 different has about, I want to say, about 3 different appearances, roughly. So on the 6 sides, there's 3 different looks.
I feel very proud of my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go drive it off a little. Only a little bit, to where I can take a picture of it without, all of the other things in the background.
Don't blame you. Okay, let's see. I think I probably want to do a little more texture work here. Maybe I will change the cockpit here. Oh, look, I have an untextured block there. Or, yeah. Now I'll just hit the whole thing. And
Then I also have the dove. Whee! Oh. Crashed into the parakeet. I think part of the reason I've named so far all of my vessels after bird types is because I really like birds and animals.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. But yeah, the dove does look like a pool toy. Oh wait, there's some stuff I wanted to add to the parakeet.
Okay, so.
Rosie, where are you? She's in the shower. Her backpack and lunchbox are out of the car. Hey, Dylan, can you run out and drive up to your sister?
Okay. I think that'll help it just a little bit. Okay. And not sure I dare do this.
Nice. Let's run out and get her lunchbox and backpack, please, so she can be ready for tomorrow. Backpack and lunchbox.
Okay. Can I make that X offset? Oh, I think it's the Z offset.
Hey, can someone go downstairs and give me the pages off the printer, please? And if the printer's blinking, make sure you put more paper in it so my stuff can finish printing.
Okay. My rotation.
Hello, John.
It's the Z offset. Okay. rotation. No, Z rotation is not what I want. Go.
My goodness!
And the height, we'll make it 0.75. Nope, I'll make it 0.5. Or maybe we'll do the Z offset 1.5. Okay, you won't see it very well while you're sitting in the cockpit, which is fine because I don't want it obstructing the view cockpit, but it might make some nice good spot to put flavor stuff. So that was
I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay. Okay. The parakeet is finished.
oh, I had it the wrong way. There we go.
Still have something in it. My mom is just killing me.
Oh, I think I need to be a little narrower. Width 0.75, height 0.75. Make the width 0.5. We get a little on the narrow side, but at least it'll no longer be. Or maybe we do 0.75 and move it. Nah. Make width 0.5. 0.
That part is gonna work.
Width 0.5. Okay, I've yet to figure out what I'm putting. Okay, if you want to come, when I'm talking about the width and that stuff, I'm talking about actually a width of a Remember my one capital vessel? I had that uh, text floating over the table. I haven't figured out the text yet or what I'm putting in there. But if you come inside this cover vessel, if you look on each side of the cockpit, you'll see the floating text. Where basically it'll say enter text here, but
Yeah, I see that.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So I figure that'll add some flavor to the vessel once I figure out what I'm putting in there. But
I decided to spawn in a copy of the parakeet to see if I missed anything, and I realized I had incomplete paint job.
yeah.
So yeah, and I just realized I have more that I didn't do.
Hold on, regarding LCDs, if you need ideas, you could take a quick peep inside the lizard over here.
Okay. Enter
And kind of
from.
look at the pilot seat.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, the
But yeah, I pretty much have like LCDs working as like a bit of a dashboard.
mhm. Did you see what I did with some of the LCDs and the pick in here?
Yeah, I saw like one of your videos for it.
Ah, yes, that's right. So I have all the LCDs with the instructions for upgrade. I have the notice on the door for the engineering, the caution. That's actually an LCD projector. So I rigged it up to the door, so when you open up the door, it turns off the projection.
And one thing you can kind of see with the comet I have parked over there is I have gun sights.
Mine. Ruth was asking about whose thing I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No. No.
I'm having. Oh, there we go.
What is it?
I was going to say I'm having trouble getting in your cockpit
It's
here.
just a spaceship.
Wait, what did they say it had to be level? More than 45.
Yeah.
Then just let me get Egglet up to level 45. Not 25, 45. I said 45. It's at level 39. If you had, oh my god, you have some said that you have something over the level 45. Oh, I don't.
It looks very nice.
What?
Oh, your cousin's small vessel over here.
Ruth, seriously, I see you closer a lot. How come it's not over the level of 45? Mine is over. Oh, it's level 57.
Mhm.
Perfect. Equip. And at the town. So, I just
thought I selected the... Maybe I didn't get the ramp.
Fine.
Add that to the last group.
There was a closer, more
Let's make
isolated
this
area.
simple. I just turn the motion sensor on that. Then we'll add a core circuit. And we'll give the motion sensor title door sensor. So if it's door sensor for open door.
For a second there, I thought my my jetpack was off, and so then when I jumped up, I'm just like, why am I going 5?
Cabin door. We'll do invert the ramp. Cabin door. Cabin door. Okay, the motion sensor, I'll want to change its range. No, that's not the motion sensor, that's the motion sensor. Oh, let's refill the fuel tanks. No, that's the O2. Fuel tanks are fine. Interactive setup.
Well, you made it difficult for me. Technically, no, I didn't. I only did it once. You want me to get this? It seems like you don't even want me to get this. You seem very frustrated because you don't. You're not staying still.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, then no one has to get the phone. That breathing protecting. I'm not happy with you. Ow! Ow! That really hurt. I didn't. I can't do that. What level are you? 38. No, I'm just kidding about it. Level 69 now. How did you hit me? How did you even hit me? I am not a clover. Now let me attack you. Yes.
I believe there was a body.
You know how you had an echo yesterday, Jenny Lynn?
Yeah?
You did turn into Clover.
I don't think it sounded quite like that.
Don't put like a bad.
No, I don't want to answer your question.
Recording or something.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I'm going to figure out what I'm doing with those LCDs. But
and get it just.
wait, I want to do some more device grouping here. I tend to group all my fuel tanks and generators into a group I called power. All my O2 stuff related into an O2 group. I'll make a group for the cockpit. Another group for the CPU. Oh, I probably forgot to put a wireless on this thing. Where would I put a wireless?
I agree. Once we're done with this next, once we're fine, you can go to this portal.
Yeah, I forgot to put a wireless on this. I'm pretty sure I did. That's container extension. Container. Wireless might be our type, but it would just look kind of weird.
I don't know, Dylan. Figure it out on your own. Don't go asking us. You don't know. Well, I only know you girls, one of you girls, got the first girl. I got from the center home, Dennis got from the center home.
One wants to hit that with some blue. There you go.
Well, I was temporarily eaten by the ground.
Temporarily eaten by the ground.
Yeah. Was going around in my HV and I faced through the ground.
Oh, that's where I could stick my wireless.
I got Magoo! Now can I get my bones? Yes. Can we battle here? In the fourth dimension? Nah, I'm at the college. I'm coming. That girl. What girl?
And this is inside the HV, so
I
I'll
don't know.
do a.
Stop asking us questions.
Oops. That doesn't do any good. There we go. There we go. Select that, select that.
Why are we on short? It's something called a tablet.
I figured out how to use the drone.
Oh, pressing F5 and using your drone.
Well, then you
Yeah.
go without information.
I finally figured out how to do it. Wee. What are these?
Your new lunch bag has a water bottle and a science box inside as well.
Oh, yeah, clover. Grab a loop shim, however. That's nice. But it's still really elegant. Ready? Set, let me kill you.
Should I be concerned, Ruth?
No.
Okay.
Be astonished at my powers. Yeah. Where did you go? You used to eat that one. I need to get stuck out of the door. What level are you? I'm level 17.
Okay.
Level 5. Hey, Green! You didn't make it that. I know. I'm being ridiculous.
What? She didn't make a dad? That's weird.
Now I have all the legendaries. I just want to get one of those monsters, and you're making it so difficult. But I even helped you.
Oh, there.
I found John. Now I'm trying to find where you are.
5 more levels.
The Kiwi I'm working on. I'm inside it.
What?
The Kiwi mining vessel that I've been working on. I'm actually inside it.
Oh! For a second there, I don't know why, but my brain was thinking like somehow there was a that you were in my parakeet vessel, but then I remembered that it's called the parakeet, not kiwi. Kiwi is my
Inspiration.
pet bird.
Kiwi's the
Yeah.
inspiration, but not necessarily what it's called.
Yeah. Well, kiwi the bird is it,
I know.
and not the species of bird, like my pet bird.
This is actually inspired by the name of the species for my capital vessel.
Ah. And then there's mine, whose colors are based off of my pet parakeet.
Yeah. Now the colors aren't based off of it, but the thing is, when I was naming this, I was it was at the time
Going
I was
for a ground bird.
Yep, a flightless bird. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
My birds finally figured out how they can go in and out of the breeding box. It took them forever to figure it out. I put them in the breeding box through the top hatch, and they are just like, how do we get out? The funny thing was, they didn't realize they could fit through the opening, the little hole that they go through to get in.
There. Yes.
Once Kiwi and Periwinkle finally realized that, they were able to get out just fine.
did they go back in on their? I was like, did they go back in on their own or?
Yeah, I'm not sure they quite know what the breeding box is for yet, but
I'm sure if Kiwi decides she wants to, she starts feeling motherly and that sort of stuff, she'll figure it out real fast.
I'm sure she will. I decided not to put paper in there, but I did put a bunch of yarn scraps in there.
I'm almost to the Colosseum. I'm in the Colosseum. Ow.
And she's been going in and out of there, playing with the yarn in there, messing around with it, organizing it, even though it's all white. Like, there's no color differentiation.
I'm getting up. Yes.
You're not moving. Like, you're just standing there.
Yes, because what I'm doing is I'm working in the control panel. Right now it probably won't let you into it because I'm working on it. But
That makes sense.
if you were to go, hold on, let me finish what I'm doing here at the moment, and then I'll let you in here. Okay.
Dad,
If you press
I
P,
just realized that the dove's color palette is based off of Periwinkle.
Are you here yet?
okay.
What? There?
Okay.
Oh no.
So if you go to the Kiwi here and press P,
Ow.
if you with the P tab open, you go on the main. You can see that I've named that it has the custom power buttons. There's one I've actually named maneuver. If you turn that off, it won't turn off the whole hover vessel. It should just turn off the thrusters, the RCS, and the hover engines. Now, if you're not in the cockpit, it won't drop to the ground. But yeah,
Are you there yet? No, I just got to.
so it won't turn off the whole vessel. It'll just turn off those things that are in that group. Stuff.
That's cool.
Uh,
I've not figured out how to do that kind of stuff.
Okay, go back in there in the P. If you go into the thing is here, I'll tell you how I did that. So you have your P you have that stuff. So I gave that custom switch a name. So I went in there and gave it a name. If you go to the devices tab, so you see where it says devices, I've actually when you start off, everything's ungrouped. So if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'll see that there's 2 LCD projectors that are not grouped. Everything else I've been
See, and then
creating.
there's a maneuver group.
Yes, and then that maneuver group, if you look at it, you can add a custom power button. So right where it says maneuver, you click on that. Not on the devices in there, but where it lists says maneuver, you click on that, and you can actually assign a power button to it. And I assigned that custom power button maneuver. So when you click off the maneuver, it shuts off everything in that. It also tells you if partial those things are on, but when the maneuver button is. You can actually assign multiple device groups to a single power button. So I've had occasion where I'm like, oh, I got 3 different groups. I want them leave them in their groups, but I want them all on the same power button. Well, then I just assign each group to that power button, and that power button will control them all. So that is stuff. Another time we can probably cover the signal logic. Signal logic is also in that control panel, and that is how this door works. If we get out off to the side, so if you go far enough back or off to the side, why is it not going? That's odd. Oh, there we go. It's an automatic door.
And then you approach it, and that's cool.
Yep. So we can get to signal logic another time, showing you how to use some of the signal logic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do, apparently. I have 13 of them.
But yeah.
No, I just gave you one.
It looks like you're holding a pistol.
And then you
It's a paint pistol, don't you know?
Yeah!
Okay. So I haven't figured out what I'm putting those.
The way they have them hold you. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm struggling with my English. The way you have, they have you hold the paint pistol, it makes it look like it's a weapon instead of a tool.
Well, yeah, they're having you hold it. They probably took the somewhere they because some of this is assets they were able to acquire for perhaps small fees or whatever stuff. Some of it freely available. So they probably took the asset somewhere that was available to them for a pistol that they had all the rules. This is how it holds it for a gun, and then they just probably added some paint. Like you splash some paint on it, and then called it their paint tool. So probably in another game may have actually this pistol or have this as an actual pistol in the game, and they so. Now, who knows? Maybe they may have actually designed this themselves, but some of the way the grip and some of it is, I wouldn't be surprised that they took a model of a pistol and modified it to be their paint gun, or they may have just taken something from a game, some game that had this is one of your guns, and they brought it, acquired it and put it in here and used it. I'm not sure which way
Well,
they
I
went.
think I'm gonna go AFK for a little. AFK, or this.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard to speak?
I don't know.
I have 14 of your bones that you gave me. Why am I heading away from the Coliseum? I need to be level 65 in order to get the next vacation.
Okay. Things to manage with power. Fridge. Definitely want the fridge on a power button. Okay. Turn light. Spotlights. thrusters on a group. O2 already has stuff. Oh, I know that I've only got these for the turrets and weapons, the mining lasers. Or not the mining lasers. That's the other. That'll be the upgraded version of this. But the drills. Wireless. Shortcut wireless. And oh, wait a minute, I can just since they're part of the cockpit here, I'll just add it to the cockpit group. Okay. Kiwi.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Okay, some people had done up some examples of LCD work on the workshop. I'm going to spawn in a couple of these and see if I find some inspiration from these.
I'm gonna change game mode.
LCD keyboard. Huh. That's actually kind of interesting. And I like the way they display it.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is pretty similar, but also slightly different.
Yep.
Cool.
And then there, let's see. I wonder if they've actually did a. Is this a capital vessel? No, this is a small vessel. And that's a small vessel. I wonder if they'll stay upright.
Now available.
These I'm going to have to do somewhere where it's flat. Or maybe I'll just grab my drill and do some flats. Okay, here we go. Epic drill. Flattening. Oh, that's not quite. Turns out this over here is not at the same level as the other one.
Oh, apparently that's
Okay, so LCD screen set 1. And LCD screens set to. Oh, that's kind of cool.
What?
Oh, this one that I'm looking at over here. One that someone did something up to look like it's some sort of meter, but above it, they have something that someone labeled forward scan, and they used little pixel art. It's kind of
Where? Where are you? Oh, you are.
yeah. So they, if you look at the square one that says forward scan, they use some pixel art. Or I mean, it's they're using various characters that they and stuff. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of Star Trek with like the warp status and everything.
Yep. And like the medical bay, the Star Trek,
She said to turn it off.
for a moment there, I was looking down here. It's flux calculation, 92%. And the thing that pops in my head is flux capacitor from Back to the Future.
I think I'm going to have to leave now.
Mm-hmm.
It's green now.
Oh, good night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy. Oh, I was gonna say we could role play with other people. A Titan role play?
Oh, I like how someone used some text art to do their planetary scan here. That's kind of cool.
I've got some new things.
That is really cool.
Oh, and they took someone did text art here to make it look like a radar dish. Looks like some of the same things from the other one, but some of the other stuff is kind of
This
cool
one
too.
that has weapons on it has a silly little face, and it's holding what looks like a gun going pew pew pew.
Yep.
This is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of this looks like all the same keyboard, but they're just doing different color stuff.
Yeah, for these ones, it looks like the exact same thing, just different colors.
Mm-hmm. So if you come back here for these here, you can actually see the LCD projectors down here. So if you click F on it, it'll actually give you all the stuff that did that. And for the text that's inside that window, the stuff, you can actually highlight it. So put your cursor in there, highlight the whole thing. So, and then you can do a Control C to copy it, and then you could go to the LCD you set up in your vessel and paste it in there. Control P to paste it, and then you'd have to adjust where it's placed, your angles and whatnot, that stuff. Uh, to place it where you want it to be. But at least as far as the actual text of it, you can go and copy and paste. Now, the person who made these ones here that we're looking at, they said if you use it in one of your blueprints and you post that blueprint on the workshop, that they'd appreciate it if you just give them a little call out, saying that kind of LCD courtesy of, or thanks to so and so for their LCDs, or you basically call out and thank them for their LCDs, so that other people, when they're looking at your blueprint, can like, oh, that's where they got their LCDs from.
The QWERTY keyboard. QWERT. Why?
Mm-hmm.
QWERTY. No, that's quirky. I'm not QWERTY. I'm quirky. Whatever. Ruth says I'm quirky. QWERTY. Like the QWERTY keyboard.
Mm. Now the one that's flashing up there, that's actually two LCDs. They actually used oh, come on. So that there, it's
I
actually
just screwed up this keyboard on accident.
well, it's not like I couldn't just spawn in a new one of these.
Yeah, I accidentally screwed it up, and now there's only the numbers, this LW on the side, and
Mm-hmm.
it's weird.
Yeah.
I at least got rid of the LW. Now it's just the squiggly line, the numbers 1 through 0. Well, 1 through 9 plus 0. And minus, equal, plus, and then the backspace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I ruined a perfectly good keyboard.
And you didn't even have to dip it in water or spill soda on it or anything like that.
Oh, I burned 100.
You just hack into the programming and delete it all.
That area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There, now there's no numbers. There's nothing on it but squares. I ruined it! Mwahaha! Can't even do anything on it. Except for push buttons. something and I just forgot. Great! Wonderful!
Well, you said something great, wonderful.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Well, I think I'm gonna get off now.
Okay.
Tell your viewers I said bye.
I think you just did.
Oh. I had a brain fart again.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, line center. Very interesting. Position 0. Line height 12.6. Interesting. A whole bunch of blank lines first, then come back up. Well, it could be a blank line to bring it down here. Let's change the background color. Give it a background color here. So we have a bunch of lines of bringing us down here. So that bunch of carriage returns brings us down there. Minus 98 point. Align equals center. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Probably gonna take me a while to digest that. I changed the black background on that one to black so that I can see where the the edges of the projection are as I'm looking at their stuff, and give me an idea Because here you just you have a nice, good, clean, floating keyboard, but like where is it actually in the projection? And because it makes me wonder, it'll take me a bit of work, but I think I might be able to use what I learn here to perhaps make. Because what I'm thinking, what I'd like to do, and I don't see one here, but I would like to say take, let's see, something like this one here, where it's got a little numpad and a couple other things here. I'd probably like to take something like that, but make it into something like this. So it'd probably take me a little work to try to line things up and the stuff. But I think at least on the one side that would make a nice, so on one side put a little numpad with maybe I don't know how much space I have, if I'll just have enough space just to do a numpad, or if I'll be able to do a numpad with a couple like function keys with it. But basically do one side like it's a little control switch there, and the other side I'm not sure what I'll do on the other side. I don't know if I'll use something from one of these for inspiration, or what I'll do. But that's what I'm thinking. It'll take me a bit of work, and the thing is, once I get to those two LCDs done up and stuff. So once I get these two LCDs done up, then I'll probably save it, post it on the workshop, and then I will do I'll probably just call it the Kiwi L, and I'll replace the drills with lasers. So someone wants to go straight to the laser drills. But that was one of my tests with the Kiwi the other day, as I was going out and doing various tests with it, with the basic hulls. I put that one with the lasers on it to check what sort of power demands it had, because the Kiwi has 4 generators on it, and the one down elsewhere has stuff. Now I could go try to drill and try stuff, but while you're drilling, you don't necessarily do multiple directions of movement. You'll do it at little moments, but not necessarily constantly. So what I did is I went out with the lasers, and then I turn, like this. I'm out here maneuvering. I turn on the drills. The power jumps up from a mere, in the 14% to 7% or whatever. It jumps up into the 30, 35. Well, the thing is, what I did is I did the same. I put the lasers on one, and that was jumping up into the 70s. I want to say into the high 70s. So that was like, okay, no wonder it's got 4 generators on it. It's upgrade ready is what it is. It's ready for those drills to be upgraded to laser drills that will draw more power. It also means it consumes fuel faster while it's doing that and stuff. So the original Kiwi has 6 fuel tanks on it. This, when I first drafted it up here, I only had 4 fuel tanks stuff. And so what I did is I found a spot back here that I was thinking, I could replace these blocks with the small fuel tanks stuff. And that way I have 2 small fuel tanks is roughly equal to 1 standard fuel tank. So then it's got the equivalent of 5 of the fuel tanks from the original Kiwi. Not the full 6, but the equivalent of 5 of them. So I still lose a little bit of fuel, the stuff, capacity, but not too bad, which then allows it, with the laser upgrade to run a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Why does it keep... I don't know. I think I'm going to probably call it a day here and cut my recording, because I'm going to work on, I'll probably work on these LCDs another time.